Your big banks are ripping you off. Let me explain. Most people, when they venture into the world of adulting, they tend to open their first checking account with one of the major banks. Banks like Citibank, Chase, Bank of America, and/or Wells Fargo. The ATMs are located everywhere. They're down the street, at the local mall, inside businesses, and even inside 7-Elevens. When you start to accumulate even more money, you want to have a place to save it instead of just being in the checking account. Thus, you look for a savings account. It is just so convenient to have your savings account at the same bank as where your checking account is. And this is where all the big banks rip you off. Let's take a look. Starting with Bank of America, you can see that their basic savings account will pay you 0.03%. This means for every $10,000 you have in the Bank of America savings account, you would make just $3 of interest each year. Now let's take a look at Chase savings account. 0.01%. Here you will make just $1 of interest each year if you had $10,000. Wells Fargo, same thing, 0.01%. Citibank, I guess it's a little bit better, but not that much. You would make $4 of interest each year for every $10,000 you have in your account. What if I told you you can make 30 times or more in interest with zero additional risk? Enter the world of online savings accounts. These include banks like American Express, Marcus, which is owned by Goldman Sachs, Ally Bank, which I personally use myself, Barclays, amongst a lot of others. Let's take a look at the interest rates that these banks I just mentioned pay. So as you can see from the chart, American Express pays 1.7%, Goldman Sachs pays 1.7%, Ally Bank pays 1.6%, that's the bank I use, and Barclays, which pays 1.7% as well. This, over a course of a year, and having $10,000 would pay $160 to $170 of interest. Of course, this interest gets taxed at your ordinary income tax rate, but still better than, $1 to $4 that you can get at the big banks. So, you might be wondering, but aren't these banks more risky than the big banks that I'm used to and familiar with? The answer is actually no. In the United States, and without going into too many details, the US government actually insures all bank deposits up to $250,000. That means no bank, assuming you have less than $250,000 of cash, is actually riskier than any other bank. Well, first of all, speed. When you use a checking account that's tied to your savings account, you can transfer money instantly. When you use an online savings account, it usually takes 2 to 3 days to transfer money both in and out of these accounts. So now you understand why your big banks are ripping you off? Do you already have an online savings account? If not, hope the online savings account is something that you will consider. The online savings account is a great place to store money that you want as an emergency, but it's definitely not somewhere you should put all your money. In future videos, I will explain why investing is so important. Until next time.